minutes there's like another twist of possibility, right?
Yeah.
I kind of realized how many game shows are missing so many little elements in there where they could manipulate the situation more, or create more of an environment for like competitors in the game to make choices that would affect them and others, you know?
Yeah, when like basically having layers, stuff like that. But the big thing is no one's ever set up like that many cameras before. It's a logistical nightmare. So it's hard to do these kinds of things normally unscripted because like, you know, we had unfathomable amounts of footage, like over 100 years of footage from that episode.
100 years of footage?
Yeah, because I mean we had to have over 100 people work on it in post. So it's like to be able to do something at that scale, even just like to set up the cameras and edit and everything is, I mean, no one's ever done it before.
It's diabolical almost.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah, you said there's a lot of world records that were broken in the shooting of this series.
Yeah, 40 Guinness World Records. Yeah, we have like so many plaques now that we have up on our wall. I'm basically making a wall out of Guinness plaques just from the show.
But, what are some of the records you guys broke?
Most contestants ever in a show, largest cash prize in a show, most cameras recording at once in a show, most people you saw.
Yeah.
And show like most money given away in the first episode of the show, just like stuff like that.
Yeah. Oh, that's the most probably since 9/11, I would think.
Oh my gosh.
We might have to take that out. Yeah, and I shouldn't have said that. I'll say something else. Yeah, I haven't seen that many people at the same time.
Wait, why was there a cut before you were to say what you're saying right now?
There's just we needed something.
You had to use the bathroom.
Yeah. Yeah. Just had to use the. Yeah, I'd already soiled the conversation. That's the most people at once that I'd seen since I was in the parking lot of a Widespread Panic concert. You know? But that was LSD. That kind of works a little.
Yeah, I think that's. Honestly, you should keep the first one.
Okay, well, here we go, dude.
You said it, not me.
That's a great point. You make the choices, man. Yeah, do you feel like this wizard? Like, because as I'm watching, I'm like, man, there's so many things. I'm like, where does the motivation come from? Is it to, like, do you get so much joy out of, like, having the manipulation of the situation? Is it giving away the money? Is it, because there's so many moments in there where I'm like, watching people's feelings change. Like, what is it for you that, like, have you been able to figure out, because you've done so many of these types of competitions and opportunities for people, right?
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, I feel like I'm motivated by a lot of things, and these kinds of game shows, it's fun to like create environments that have never been created for, and just like, let's just see kind of what people do. Like a lot of that is just like mass behavioral psychology. Like if you offer someone money to eliminate other people, how much money would it take? You know? So it's kind of a little bit of that, but it's also, I just like making great content. I like doing, making things you can't find anywhere else because it's just fun to like see how the world reacts to it. You know? So in this instance, with a lot of what we do, like one time we just put a big circle on the ground.
Huh?
We put a bunch of
empty, right?
Just
Empty.
Whoever leaves last.
Yeah.
How long does it take? Who's gonna leave? Like those are the kinds of things that I like personally am just curious on. Like what the fuck's gonna happen? You know?
Yeah, what's like one thing you've learned then about people's psychology? Have you learned, or does it change a lot? Like, or have you learned, like, are there some general rules you've learned that people like behave around money or that sort of thing?
Yeah, that's an interesting question. And I honestly feel like people are a lot nicer than people. They're not as maybe it's because when we do it, they know the videos when we see by people, so they're thinking of it personally each time. A lot of times I have giving people the opportunity to like screw for somebody, then usually they don't take it, or they like push. It requires way more money than you would think. Like someone would do anything to make $30,000 a year, offer 10 grand, but it means this other person gets eliminated and gets punished for the challenge. And a lot of times, like, we'll say no. That's not an easy decision to make. Like, there's some integrity there.
Yeah,
it's just YouTube. When you go to like a streaming platform like Amazon Prime Video or Netflix, you're like sitting down to watch something, usually for like hours, and you're to watch like this longer story and show. But when you go to YouTube, not just sitting down expecting to watch a 10-episode series, like just clicking on video. So content put up on YouTube is just different. It's like a series don't do as well, and you know, and so it's much easier to build characters and feel emotion over these 10 episodes, 6 hours of content than it is in a 20-minute video, because you have like 10 minutes to build them up, and then you got to wind the story down because the video is going to end in 10 minutes, and like give emotion and things like that. You know, like when we were watching that, even though I've already seen it like 100 times already, I could feel my heart pounding. I mean, or it might have been Celsius I was drinking, I don't know, but like I really could feel the amount, like when people watch the show, I want them to have very intense feelings.
Yeah, I mean, definitely did, man. The interesting thing to me too is like a lot of times with game shows and it's the contestants that you start to get to know, right?
Yeah.
But with this, it's not the contestants. Like,
well, you will later on, but because there's 1,000 of them,
right?
First, I gotta, lay down the hammer, axe, 900 of them or whatever, and then we can build them up.
I see.
And I definitely learned why no one ever does stuff with 1,000, because that's the most contestants ever. It's a lot to like, just everything is, 1,000 hotel rooms a night. You know what I mean? If the hotel room is $200, it's $200,000 a night just hotel rooms, and you're feeding them, and even like every little thing is so expensive when you times it by 1,000. And like to record 1,000 people, you need 1,000 cameras. Just to buy 1,000 cameras is a bitch, and then to hook all the cameras up to the server, we need like 56 miles of cable to run it over there, and then you need like fucking 250 camera people to check in on it. So it's like, I know why people don't do reality shows at this scale, because it's so fucking expensive.
What was the total budget of this show?
I want to tell you, but can you just leave it so it doesn't make it?
For sure.
Okay.
Can we leave it in some artistic way so at least it looks exciting?
No, just do what the fuck?
This?
Sure, put that over my mouth. It was obviously. Yeah. I didn't mean it. Don't cancel.
No, I was trying to get some. Trying to get different reactions.
Put that in the
Oh my god, bro, you spent that much on this?
Yeah, because it gets crazy. At first, we built 1,000 towers, and those are real towers that have actual hydraulic press doors that have to be safety proof with giant foaming crash pad at the bottom with the light system, right? Because we're turning them red and green. And we had to build custom software to connect it all where you press a button until the lights change. And then we had to rig, like I told you, 1,000 cameras in to a giant control center. Like just that first episode alone was, crazy, man.
And do you have to take it all down at the end?
Yeah. I didn't do that all down. Yeah. Because the problem is, like, we needed 6 massive hangars. So, like, we basically, in Canada, there's, like, these 6 giant airport hangars where it's just like, hey, can you use those? And converted them all to these big sets. And then right outside is a field, and that's where we built that city, which was also, so I have this field. At one point, I have, like, 800 people working over here just building a city in the middle of a field. And I've got, like, 600 construction people on these 6 hangars just building these other sets. And then I have all these, at some points we had, like, over 2,000 people on set just in this town in Canada. So it was great.
Were you employed just a lot of locals? You would put out the employment opportunities in advance?
Yeah, we worked with 2 different unions, and then, we hired a bunch of people locally and things like that. So, yeah, I created a lot of jobs locally there.
And where does your joy come from? Like, because you've given away a lot of money, right?
Yeah.
And you give away a lot of joy while I'm watching. Like, there's something also, there's moments in there as I'm watching, I'm like, oh, what would I do with that instance, right? That comes into my head. And then you see the reactions if somebody screws somebody over, and you see the reaction if somebody gets screwed over. And you kind of think, like, okay, well, what feeling would I want to have, And then, like, in the moment, you're like, oh, yeah, I would definitely take the money. But then right now, looking back, when I start to even think about some of those moments, I'd be like, man, it must have been really tough to leave and have those people feel so maybe I wouldn't have, right? It's interesting just as a viewer, all the little moments that I kind of navigate and then kind of learn about myself. But what do you get, like you give away so much money, do you feel like you're, like, making up for something in a past life? Or, like, is there something that, like, you didn't grow up with a lot of money,
No.
And so when you think back on little moments, like, did you see somebody give somebody once and it made you feel excited?
Yeah.
Or, like, are you able to connect any of those dots as you get a little bit older and you maximum breadth of time.
You know, that's where I should come up with this, you know, throbbing story. I just want to, you know, help people because I couldn't when I was younger or whatever. But the honest truth is, like, I know how to make content go really good. I make it really good. And I just believe a world where I help people is just more fun than a world where I don't. And that's kind of really it. I've noticed where, you know, videos where we do help people or give away money, I tend to just be a little happier, enjoy it a little bit more. And so I just need more of that. Yeah, I mean, that's the truth. I mean, I could one time for fun, because like everyone has these like PR publicists and PR people. I just talked to one. I was like, what advice would you have for me? And they're like, you need to come up with a better story why you help people. And I was like, well, what I think is
And it's a very simple truth. Yeah, I like helping somebody out.
It is just more fun than if I don't.
Yeah. It's scary to think that though. Like recently, I was giving some money to some people that had been suffered from a storm, right? From some flooding, and I'm not saying that to make myself look exciting or anything, but it was nothing like this. And if they see that and then hear what I gave, they're like, "God, this guy's."
Well, I mean, this is just our reality show, but yeah, in general, I don't know if you've watched any of our videos, but we've built 100 wells in Africa.
Oh yeah, I know. You helped them. Yeah, you guys have given blind stuff. You've taken plastics out of the ocean.
Yeah, but what the wells stuff, that one was interesting, or really eye-opening for me, because we were one of them. Like we went like 4 hours into the middle of nowhere, and you're like, you know, at places where these people don't have internet, like they're, I mean, really intense poverty, and it's like it's pretty eye-opening. I would recommend if anyone ever has an opportunity to like just work on a project or do something in places like that. It's like crazy to think that we're on the same planet, you know what I mean? And people who like don't even have access to clean water and have to walk an hour every morning to go to a river to get water, but then you look upstream and there's literally cows shitting in that same water that they're, you know, drinking out of, because that's the world they live in. And like we have to do it. Anyways, I don't know.
I think putting things in a perspective, right, changes things for people.
Exactly.
Did you have to like kind of achieve a certain amount of finances before you were able to start giving away finances?
No, I've always, like, my first grant was $10,000, and I just walked outside and gave it to a homeless person. Wow. So I've just always done it, because it's just like, you know, if I do this, then hopefully this video makes $15,000, and then I'll give away $15,000.
Right.
And then hopefully that video makes $20,000, and I'll give away 20. And so I just had that idea where I was like, what if I just give away the money, and then it makes more money, and I give that away? And then I just kind of been doing that for like 8 years.
And now you're at $5 million, which is the largest amount that has ever been given away in a game show.
Or in a reality show, in any show, really. No one's ever given away. I think Squid Game was supposed to $4,560,000. Yeah.
Did you want to beat that kind of?
Oh yeah. That's why I did it first $5 million. But we also gave away like, you know, another 15+ million on top of that just throughout the show.
No, I love it, because you hear so many companies that just like it's about their bottom line. It's like this is like the opposite of that. It's like let's do something good. Yeah. And let's make a bunch of money, but then let's give it away.
Yeah.
It was like the opposite of like all the other treacherous type of capitalism that you hear about, you know.
Yeah. It's interesting because now that I've done like a streaming show or whatever, it's like a lot of these shows are cash prices like $250,000, $500,000. It's like I wonder why they don't give away more. You know what I mean? I could watch this whole, you know, 10-episode show just to see who wins $250K, and it's like the first 3 minutes of our show, we gave away $1 million. You know? Yeah. So it'll be interesting. I'm curious to see how people react to it, because it just. Anyways,
you think you're gonna make other tips? Yeah, dude. We had a dude. He would give you $10 to look at his butt, right?
Wait, what?
Yeah, when I was when I was younger than I am now, for sure. He was a child. I don't want to say a child, but I just pretend I was a child, right? Because I was. And this guy would give you $10 to look at his butt, right? Not up close, far away, you know. But it was like, so yeah, that guy could have given us a lot more.
Do you need to file a police report?
I have no idea, dude. But I'm just saying, it's like everybody has a game show, and you're like, yeah, people, these prizes are cheap, you know. That's what it was kind of what I was getting at. Anyway, we can take that.
So you were at a game show, and a guy gave you $10 to look at his butt.
We had a dude in our area. I'll be honest with you. He gave you $10. He'd walk up a little bit. He kind of spread crazy guy, you know, but he's also cheap. You know, they're probably 13, 12, 11, probably,
gosh.
you know. But anyway.
You sure you don't want to file a police report? You sure you don't want to take care of that? He's not currently still offering 12-year-olds $10 legal advice. We might want to put an end to that.
Yeah, you're right, actually. And maybe that's the type of game we can go to do next, is trapping guys like that, you know. $12 butt games, that's different. Anyway, I shouldn't have said anything like that. Just so our viewers know, right, I know you have the largest YouTube channel that exists, the most that they can have on there. You have more subscribers than, I think, people in America.
Yeah, I haven't thought of that, but
what's
yeah.
the population of America?
I think
sorry to cut you off.
Like 300 million, right?
Almost 4.
Oh, it's almost 4?
Is it?
Let's see, American population. 334. Oh yeah, we're about the same. We're at 330. Yeah, so we're tied with America. Yeah, I guess it's I mean, it's crazy, man. Like 8 years ago, I was in high school, so it's kind of funny when I think about it, because 8 years ago, I'm raising my hand to ask to use the bathroom, and then yeah, I guess now we have the same subscribers as America. Yeah, it's pretty.
Yeah, that's a difference.
Pretty wild how it happens. It's a lot, man. You know what's interesting, because you talk about like our large subscriber count, is it's like when I had like 10 million subscribers, I was like, I thought this is fame. Like this is, you know, like I would go to Walmart and I don't know, maybe one person asked for a photo. I was like, this is fucking cool. This is what it's like. But you know, there's just like such a big difference where, and this is not obvious, but where I'm at now than when I had like 10 million subscribers, where I was like 4 years ago. And it keeps getting crazier every year. Like people will follow my car to, like, you know, if I'm out and they see me, they'll like try to stalk me so they can see where I live. Like, you know, that's like, that kind of stuff didn't happen 4 years ago. Or almost anything I do ends up on the internet, right? Like, one time I was like at a drive. Every time I go to a drive, it's like flipping a coin on whether or not someone's gonna go Mr. Beast, and then all the people are gonna run to the window. And it's gonna be this thing that's, you know, kind of intense, or if it's just like a really, really old person, then I'm like always super happy when like I flip to a drive-through and it sounds like they're 50s. So I'm like, good. Yeah. But if they sound like they're in their 20s or 30s, it's brutal, because then it's like one time someone did that. They opened it and she was like, Mr. Beast. I was like, yeah. And she goes, whip out her phone. I was like, hey, I don't want people to know that I'm driving. Like, we can chat, but just please no photos, because then if it goes wrong, I'm gonna have to sell this car. It's just a lot of work. And she's like, okay. And then she goes to get the food, and she comes back, and there's just, I see just 10 other people that work. I won't even say the restaurant, but behind her coming up with their phones recording. I was like, thought I could trust you. And I had to drive off before they handed me my food, because I was like, if I don't, they're gonna start filming, people will see the car and drive, blah blah. And then it's funny, like the next day I see on Reddit, Mr. Beast is an asshole, just drove off, and it's like, no, forgot to tell the part where I was like, hey, please don't dox my car. You know, just immediately leaves that whole thing out. And so there's a lot of that. Like, or another time, I was in a restaurant. I don't even know who I was with, but someone paid for my food, and I was like, I asked for the bill. They're like, oh, someone paid for it. They're like, let me tell you if they like videos. I was like, cool. How do I tip? They're like, they don't have a bill. And I was like, okay. So I just laughed. And then the next day I see on the internet, Mr. Beast stiffed me and didn't leave a tip or whatever. And it's like, someone paid for my meal. I didn't get a bill. It's not like I could carry cash.
Yeah.
You know? So, and I was just, and so I have so many instances like that where, like, no one gives a fuck when you're smaller about all these little things. But like, as I've gotten bigger, yeah, it's just like every interaction, it's like a 10% chance this thing's gonna end up on the internet, or they're gonna try to twist things or whatever, and it's just gotten crazier. Like people, like I said, follow me, or yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah, and you get to a point also of popularity where you've also gone, you can't go back.
Yeah.
First of all, you can't unbeast yourself.
Well, actually, I can't obviously. If I wear a beanie, I've noticed, like, I've tried all sorts of outfits when I fly to see which ones hit. If I pull my bangs and a beanie and put that on, because I've never worn anything like that in my videos, the amount of photos I can take go down like crazy.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's like, and then if I combo the beanie with like a pair of glasses, because I also have never worn glasses in my videos, it takes it down. So I've like studied it.
Okay.
Because like I used to just rock a hood, but that's kind of like suspicious. It's like, especially in places where it's not cold.
Yeah. Guy looks like a bank robber,
Yeah,
but he's at United Airlines.
a strat. That's the key.
Yeah.
If you want to be like low key.
Yeah, no, I think there's different ways to do different little disguises. I do think it's interesting what you're saying though, like about like I would notice, and this is just for me, but I would notice like someone would pay for my food sometime at a restaurant.
Yeah.
But then I would read like, oh, he didn't thank us for it, right? Like, so really they were paying for it, so I would like engage with them, right?
Yes.
Which is, it's okay, but it's like at some point it's like maybe I'm doing with
I'd
friends.
rather just pay for the food.
Yeah, I'd rather just pay for my food. I didn't know that there was this other exchange to it, right?
Yeah.
So I'm not complaining. I'm happy for the extra food, but if I'm in a hurry or something, and now I'm in a different spot, and now I'm in a conversation with somebody else who then wants to ask you about a business thing or something, it's like,
Yeah.
you know,
There's no rule book for these kinds of things.
right? There's no rule book for
So
it.
you kind of have to like learn on the go, like, what do I do when random people pay for my food? Oh, I guess this is the random people paid for my food etiquette. I have to stand there and demand a bill from the waitress 5 times until they give it so I can tip. I then have to walk around the restaurant and find who paid for it and thank them. It's like, these are the things that you just kind of have to learn as you get more famous. Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's just interesting, you know.
Yeah.
And people will be like, oh, famous people complaining, you know. But it's like, but if somebody, popularity is a blessing and a curse, and sometimes it's a side effect of what you want it to do, right? And yeah, and then there's also ways to like little things to navigate amongst it. This episode is sponsored by Prize Picks, baby. Do you love firing on sports? Do you love it? I do. Well, Prize Picks is the best daily fantasy sports app for you. You can sign up today and get $50 instantly when you play $5. That's it. It's simple. You can fire on all your favorite sports like the NBA, NFL, UFC, and many more. Instead of choosing teams, what I love about Prize Picks is that you choose individual players. A player? Each player has a set projection, and you either choose more or less than that set projection. Prize Picks also has a brand new feature called Live Squares, available now. Live Squares allows you to pick a player's full game projection after their time has started, so you can get in the game. The projection changes based on the player's live progress. Look for the red dot indicating a game is in progress. If you are smart with sports and you know what players are going to perform on what nights, Prize Picks is the best app for you. I enjoy it. If you can gamble responsibly, Prize Picks is it. First-time users download the Prize Picks app, use code Theo, and Prize Picks will instantly. It's so easy to use. Even your Uncle Terry could figure it out. A couple of cold boys. You can also set a personal watch list of crypto charts to keep tab on the price of Bitcoin and over 190 other cryptos. Hold up, let me check the Bitcoin price on Kraken real quick. Dang, she's ripping. Everybody's asking where to buy crypto, and the answer is simple. Get Kraken, Kraken. Head to kraken.com/Theo. That's www.krake/THEO and sign up now. That's kraken.com/Theo. Disclaimer, not investment advice. Crypto trading involves risk of loss and is offered to U.S. customers, excluding Washington, New York, and Maine, through Hayward Interactive Incorporated. See kraken.com legal-ca-pru-disclaimer for info on Kraken's undertaking to register in Canada. Let's be honest, what most people want for the holidays is to see their loved ones. That's what we want most of them. We want to see our loved ones. See even a picture of them, if that's all. That's why they fall.
Having depressive mental breakdowns because I'm pouring everything I have. But I mean, at the time, obviously everyone thinks the videos I make are great, and I thought I was making like insanely great videos, but they're just trash. They're just and like the problem is that I didn't have anyone to teach me how to edit, so I'm like learning on my own. I didn't know anything about cameras, didn't know anything about anything. And then 16, no one's watching. 17, no one watching. And I'm like, fuck. My whole life was I just want to do YouTube. I need to make enough money by the time I graduate high school so I can do this, or I'm fucked because I didn't have any grades or anything. And we didn't have much money because my parents were over leveraged in 2008. They're in the army, bought some properties 2008, and then the recession or financial crisis hit, went bankrupt, lost everything. So like my mom was also like, my son's just gonna be homeless.
Get back in there.
Yeah, like just gonna be homeless, and she hates it, and so I finally 18, about to graduate high school. Still, no one watches the videos. No one gives a fuck. I'm making.
I did graduation.
Yeah, I remember like, yeah, it's just like my mom's like, all right, it's time to accept reality. Gotta go to community college. Gotta get a degree. And I was just like, I didn't want to, but I was like, okay, let me just pick the easiest, lamest fucking degree. I think it's like some communications degree at my local community college. Yeah, but then 2 weeks into it, I just like, fuck this shit. And so every day, because I didn't have enough money to buy, I just go to college, but then I would just work on videos in my car. And I was just like, okay, in 6 months, my mom's gonna find out that I have straight zeros, kick me out of the house. And I gotta get it where people are watching my videos enough where I can like live off of it over the next 6 months. And then I just started doing a bunch of stupid stuff. Like around this time is when I counted to 100,000.
Yeah, it's so classic.
And a lot of other things like that. And
why does somebody semi-unconscious count their way through like 80,000 is unbelievable.
Yeah, it was. Well, there was one part I think at 93,000 where I was like 92,999, 91,000. I actually went backwards, didn't realize it, and then I just went 91,001, 91,002. So I like, it was because I was so just out of it at that point.
Yeah, there are moments in that where you're like, yeah, somebody help this guy or something.
Yeah.
You know?
But anyway, so around that point, I had a month where I made 20 grand, and then I was like, Mom, I have straight zeros. I'll move out tomorrow, and then I just moved out. So and then we just kept reinvesting it all, and here we are. So it's like a 15-year journey, and it's been pretty crazy.
Was it hard to learn to reinvest in yourself? Is that like a
going back to the book,
is that like a thing?
No, for me, it always came down to well, now it's a little bit crazier because we're traveling and everything, but back then,
that's
split it with someone, so needed 360 for rent, and I had like a 2005 Dodge Durango, which wasn't expensive. So it was like, okay, $1,000 to cover my expenses, everything else is poured back in. You know what I mean? So if you just live like below your means, then like it allows you just to go crazy and throw everything back into it. And I just was like a fucking machine back then, that the best video possible. And so every dollar was just a way to just make a better video.
Wow. Do you want to make the best video? There's something about it that you want to make the best video.
Yeah, well, I've obviously studied the algorithm, studied the tens of thousands of YouTube videos. I'm a data nerd, and what's interesting is the data always just shows that the better the video is, the more views it gets. It's like if people watch it and enjoy it, YouTube gives it more views. So it's like, yeah, it's the better. That's what took us from 100,000 views a video to 1 million to 10 million views a video to 20 to 40 to 50 to 100. It's just, people notice when you put in the effort and go, well, God, so just to come back.
Yeah, watching. I mean, I know this will be on Amazon, right?
Yeah, Prime Video, the BCS thing. Yeah.
But watching some of your stuff, it's just like, man, this is like fantastical. It's like fantasy. There's fantasy parts of it. What was one you guys just put up about? You went out into these like this cave and
7 days in the underground cave.
Was it a real cave or not a real cave?
So we did 7 days in a cave and 7 days in underground city. Which one are you talking
Underground
about?
City.
That's in Romania. That was crazy.
It was so great because it's like it mixes like past and present. It's like it's like are we the Mayans or the aliens here? There's this myth of like where is this a real city? Is it not? It looks brand new, but then it also has these.
Well, the Romans used to mine salt up there. I think it was like something crazy, like 2 billion pounds of salt that were mined there, or something ridiculous. Yeah, so it's been used for over 1,000 years, and then they built a little underground city there. There's a Ferris wheel and everything. It's so mind blowing that how
there's a real Ferris wheel there.
Yeah, in that underground city.
Yeah, that's a part. That's one thing. It's just like I can't tell sometimes when it's new or old, or it's like it's fantastic.
Yeah,
that's what it feels like to me. I'm like, dang, this is dang fantasy, So you're a Mr. Beast. Is there a Mrs. Beast? Do they have a Mrs. Beast?
I mean, I have a girlfriend, but
I
just call her Tia.
Okay, so you just call her by her natural name or whatever.
Yeah.
Give it a name. Do you remember your first girlfriend ever?
Yeah, but I love my current girlfriend.
Okay. Oh yeah. That's what I was just. Or yeah, I was just thinking like, were you good at having girl? Like, was there ever a girl that you even had a crush on your neighborhood or anything when you were a kid? You don't have to say her name.
No, Bro, when I was growing up, I still am, but I was incredibly awkward. I had a lot of pimples when I was a teenager.
Oh, yeah,
And, like I had scars on my forehead from. I was an acne up freak that just obsessed over YouTube. I don't even know how to talk to a woman. Like if they were like hi, I'd probably just be like, what are you? You know. So it was fuck no. I mean, but it kind of worked to my advantage a little bit because that's why I just grinded so much from 11 to 18, which most people probably would have been trying to talk to girls or
actually that'll kill all your time.
Exactly. Whereas I was just like fucking you play baseball and grind on YouTube every second of the day, so it worked out to my advantage. Do you know Accutane?
Yeah, Accutane didn't kill Jessica Simpson. What happened to her? That wasn't her. Sorry. Yeah.
I don't know. It might have killed someone. I mean, it's a pretty intense thing, but I took Accutane and it just got rid of all my acne.
Oh, it helped?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And actually, I was one Call of Duty YouTuber I watched when I was younger.
It's the same
He
way
just
I got.
said that he started taking Accutane. All his acne
way?
went away. And I was like, okay. So I asked my dermatologist, and I took it, and then all my acne went away as well. And I was like, holy shit, but I didn't take it until I was like 19 or 20, and I was like, my God, why didn't someone tell me about this?
Anybody tell you?
Yeah, when I was 15 or 16. What? And it's probably for the better because it's pretty intense, but it like dries your skin out like crazy. It gets to the point where your skin will get like, it shrinks your pores too. So like the blackheads on your nose will literally come out on their own. And like you'll like wake up one day and you'll just have like all this stuff. Like if you squeeze blackheads, they'll just be sitting on top of your nose. It's like a miracle.
Like when people put that worm rod in the ground, you ever seen that when they electrocute the ground to get the worms out?
Basically like that. Yeah. No, this is a crazy thing. So, anyways, I'm saying this because if there's any of you out there in the same spot as me, Accutane changed my life. I hope to be like that Call of Duty YouTuber was to me when I was younger. To you, it was wild.
Some dude on Call of Duty is like, hey, get some Accutane.
Yeah, he was just doing like a story time and talk about how he fixed his acne, and I was just like, oh, it changed my life.
Dude, we had to get this blotter. They had something. There was this. Finally, I got a prescription because mine was bad too, dude. Like, and I was afraid to smile because sometimes you'd have that hard patch, and it would just be like, it would be like a gang of acne, like MS acne or whatever.
Bro,
it was, like,
I know it too well,
face.
but that was my fucking forehead for years.
Yeah, and you would smile, and it would fucking just squirt on somebody. It was almost like you were afraid to make certain faces because a couple of them would go off. You know,
Yeah.
It was like. Like,
actually, I don't know if mine was that intense.
If you get them like in here in the corners of my nose, it's so scary.
Yeah.
And I already have a big nose, so if I get a pimple on it, I'd have to stay home until it went away or whatever.
Yeah.
God, dude, yeah, acne was crazy because you didn't do anything, right? You've been at home, you're just growing up or whatever.
Yeah.
And then God's like, oh yeah, you little bastard.
I know. It's like you see these people who don't wash their face and they just have perfect, flawless skin. And then you're over here doing everything you can, and you got 100 blackheads on your nose and probably 40 pimples on your face, and it's just like, why am I being punished?
Yeah.
Like why me?
and we had this blotter stuff. It was like this green stuff. You had to put it all. It had like a blotter, almost like a playing bingo.
Yeah.
And you put it all over your skin, but it became green. It was green, right? It's like green. You couldn't tell right when you put it on, but if you were at school and you had a white shirt or something, your whole shirt of your neck would start just getting green throughout the day because you'd sweat it down, you know? It was terrible.
How old are you?
I was probably 11, 12.
Well, me growing up, we had Proactive or whatever the fuck that was.
Yeah,
That's what people used. I don't remember this green shit you're talking about.
We had Prayer and some other shit that they had. Yeah, meeting the first girl with her. Oh, I remember in our apartment complex, some dad, I remember, this is the first girl that I maybe had a crush on or something. The dad got a daughter a drum, right, for Christmas or whatever.
Yeah.
And she would make her play, like on the back porch, she would practice. And I would go around and listen, and she would play, what's that Ice Cube song? It's like,
It was a good day.
bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 bum. Yeah, kind of thank God. Bum, 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 bum. Yeah. Somebody like got upset at somebody put like a stone